our children are looking at and what have you. Again, rest in peace to that child, a loving child, very nice, smart young lady, going and succumbing to suicide. Again, family, make sure that you like, share, and follow all the Xerox Twins social media. Of course, this is the best live ever, where we love, we laugh, and we learn. We learn how to live our best lives together. And reason being is because, hey man, we bring on the celebrities so that we know and understand that there's no big eyes and little U's, right? Not in our world. Right in our world, we are all equal, going through some things to get through some things. And again, hey, make sure that you share this, right? We share who we are with you, and all we ask is that you mostly and mainly share us as well. And you can push the stars, the likes, the loves, and what have you as well. Comment. We want to have engagement, because we want to know what you want to know, and so that we can get it out there. We want to know what guests that you need and what have you. Again, family, the best live ever. Darshan, tell us a little bit and give us a little excerpt of that book. So hey man, so we can get it out there and let people know that it exists, right?
And she's under her pen name for this book is CR. Is it CR May?
Yes.
Yeah. So the pen name is CR May, and it's Still I Have to Mother. I'm just resetting because I shared it with my platform and our audience. I just took Twin Show and put it on our whatever. And but I do want to also add to your conversation, Twin. Anthony and Antonio, what Xerox Twins? Okay. We are in March, and March is Her Stories, and we call it Women's History Month, but it's Women's Her Story Month. That's how we coined that. And so the fact that you're having that conversation at this particular time is truly honorable on your platform, and just giving ode to all the women out there that have gone through, situations. We do have Mother's Day, of course, but this is really a situation, how we navigate those situations in our lives. And so this is one thing, is to navigate dealing with grief. And Sierra May's grief is dealing with the suicide of her child's father. And she's going to read the testimony that she says she highlights in that book.
When she said testimony, I'm like, should I freestyle or should I just read from the actual book? Because the whole thing is the testimony.
Well, I will read the excerpt that you want your audience to take away. Because when I heard you talking to them earlier, you said testimonies and reflections and some good things. You said some good things. So I figured that you said, well, that's a good point. Twin testimony, so I just ran with it.
No, I do have a little bit I can definitely share. It's a little bit of it's a part of chapter 9, which is titled Learning to Love Myself Again. Ooh. And because here's the thing, I didn't just lose her father, I lost the first person that I ever loved. So I went from grieving the relationship to grieving her father. Like I got back in, and just to share a little bit before I start this chapter 9, I've been in the custody of my father at 5 years old. My daughter lost hers at 5 years old. So it was very imperative for me to make sure that she had that and not to feel alone at all. So I'll just share a little bit of it. Chapter 9. It starts out like this. After everything I've endured, loss, betrayal, loneliness, I realized I had forgotten how to love myself. I had poured out for everyone else, for my daughter, my family, and I was just always in survival mode. But when I looked into the mirror, I didn't recognize the woman staring back at me. She was tired, worn, and unsure of who she was without the titles of mother, ex, and a provider, all these labels. Fighting worse with truth. One night, I received a text from my ex's phone. You are a bum, bitch. As a single mom, receiving text messages, nope. And it's not you, and you're not bothering anybody. And you got to be reminded and called names. I'm not bothering y'all. So I'm trying to transition from we're not together anymore. Okay. I'm trying to transition and be by my, be a mom. So I knew it wasn't him, of course. He had never called me out of my name. It was him. It was the girlfriend. And that's a dynamic that we
Oh.
don't talk about, is because
Whew.
when you become on the outside of the family, now you got to be the baby
Mm.
mama now. Now you get
Mm.
mistreated from different angles, when now you go from girlfriend to ex to baby mama all of a sudden. And that becomes a very hurtful label when baby mama is already a title, and people describe that and think that everybody carries that label, and not everybody carries that.
Right,
That's
right.
that is a decision, and some of us are real women and we don't act like that. So to go from the mother of her child, the mother of his child, to the baby mama, it's like you think of me as less. So I have to go
It's
through this.
degrading.
That's a transition that I'm carrying. Again,
Right.
I'm still having to be this child's mother on this other side. So
Mm-hmm.
nevertheless, the next day when I asked him, he didn't even know about the message. That hurt differently. Not just her insult, but his absence from the chaos swirling around him, as if he didn't realize that I'm going through something that I didn't ask for. This
Mm.
is something, this you moved on, I moved on. Okay, but why am I still getting pulled in into this dynamic, and then I'm having to hold it emotionally and still be this child's mother? Again, I still have to be a mother.
Mm.
For a moment, her words stung, but then I remembered her insecurity is not my identity. I noticed, that's why I said to you twins in the beginning that my motto to myself is the things that allowed me to go through, it was instructed for me to be a bitter woman, but it turned out to make me a better woman. So I can't allow someone's bitterness to twist me up and make me a rotten apple when that's not how I am. So I share this a little bit when that's my testimony going into how I got out of it, is by love. I started to loving myself. Wasn't about, I did small things, bubble baths, singing and dancing, being around family, and getting those calls and texts and saying, "Hey, you want to go out? Yeah, we going dancing. Okay, let's go dancing." And I made it clear that I wasn't going to allow a situation to turn me into a bitter woman. I
Mm.
had to, one of the quotes that I have in my book is, your value isn't defined by the names they call you, but by the name you call yourself. So I will write affirmations on my mirrors in my bathroom to remind myself it doesn't matter what people say about you. The baby mama is just a label, it's not your character.
Mm.
And at the end, I really just kind of have reflective questions at the end for each and every individual, because it's a conversation we don't share with each other because we feel probably embarrassed or we don't want people in our business. But just giving a little bit of your business can go a long way, because you still got to go home to yourself, you and that kid or those children. That's just you and those kids. It all day, every day within that household, and you don't know. You can't always pick up the phone and call your friend or your parents or go to your cousin's house or anything. Sometimes, let me go a little step further. Sometimes the enemy can definitely isolate you to make you think that the very reason why they left you is because you did something wrong, and you did
Mm.
absolutely nothing wrong. And so I had to really endure the girlfriend, the insults, the talking about me, you know, the parenting, the arguing, grown folks arguing at me that could be my parents' age, because it was my fault. And that's another thing. They tend to blame you
Right.
like it's your
Yeah.
fault. I'll never forget, and just sharing a little bit of my testimony. I'll never forget, he called us the night before, and he just kept calling. And I was like, okay, I'll get to him. But being a mother, I'm on schedule. She's 4 years old. It's bath time. I'm getting her bath. And because we're moms and, I have a device here and there, well, I'm occupied and I'm telling myself, well, I'll call him back after she's done with her bath. Because that way, they're toddlers. They just busy. So Didn't think nothing of it. So the next day, I go to work. I text him and apologize. Hey, I'm sorry we missed your call. We was occupied, but hey, we'll see you this weekend. That was his weekend that he was supposed to pick up his daughter. But around 4 o'clock, no, 3:30, I get a text. Hey, he's been in an accident. Well, he drives trucks, so I'm thinking in my mind, oh, it's a truck accident. And then I get another text, hey, he's hurt really bad. I said, oh, okay. So now ain't sitting right. Um, they found him barricaded in his car in the garage, suffocated in carbon monoxide. And so the carbon monoxide was so heavy that the paramedics they even had to get seen because they had so much in their system. That when I immediately got there because I had to get my cousins Jessica and Josh in there to drive. I couldn't drive. Who who can drive in those moments? But I drove. I mean, I'm sorry. I rode in the back seat. I get up there. First person I see is the girlfriend. I hug the girlfriend with no hesitation. I hugged the girlfriend, but long story short, he was brain dead by the time I got there. When in the moment it was very surreal, but at the end of the day, it's one of those I'm not surprised. It's unfortunate, but I'm not surprised. Um, but it turns out the girlfriend, and a lot of people, and I tell my male friends, my male cousins, and all those things, you got to be very careful of the women that you deal with because they can be the ones that's very out to haunt you as well, and they'll keep poking at you and keep poking at you until you actually just give in. But this woman, she had something about her where he just felt like, well, I can't do this anymore. Um, it was it was very sudden because we all had plans, but it was very sudden, and so my daughter and I have definitely got through it in a very healthy way. We can talk about it to this day, but I can honestly say that it has taught me how to become a better person.
Mhm.
It has definitely taught me, a lot of people say you're strong. And then you wonder, well, how you know? You ain't never seen me that strong. Until you actually go through some real grief, that's when you know how strong you are. Is when you actually have something taken away from you and you have to keep going.
So was that the car accident? So was it the car because he was in a truck accident in his truck? They ruled it as suicide, or
I when they text me the first time, I'm thinking when they said he was in an accident that he was in a truck accident, but it wasn't.
okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking to my mind. But when another person texts me, that's when I had to get on the phone and they actually give me further details. But yes, he suffocated himself with carbon monoxide for sure.
Hmm.
But that was the weekend that he was supposed to be picking up our daughter. So it's just
Hmm.
one. Um, he did write my daughter a note and I saved it. So I to this day I still save it, but I was more angry. I went through all the phases. I was angry. I was questioning God. I was angry at everybody. I was annoyed because I just felt like and at that moment everybody just started blaming me. Why you didn't answer your phone? Why you didn't answer your phone? I'm like, I'm over here taking care of my business with my kid. That's why I didn't answer the phone. But they thought it was a baby mama drama type of thing between us, but we were actually okay.
Y'all were in a good space,
We were in a good space.
even though that's kind of what with my cousin Taurus, we he hung himself. It was dealing. We narrowed. We thought it was relationships. We to this day we think it's relationships. It's everything is convoluted. Um, I don't know. I better not say too much because I probably get 100 phone because it becomes unresolved for so many years, and especially when you have women involved, outside of family, and it sounded like he was in a relationship. But your story really helps so many women that don't share it, that don't tell it,
Right.
and you know and you take that bold step of saying, I'm going to be transparent, I'm going to be vulnerable and tell the story in hopes that it's helping somebody, helping
Mhm.
another mother, having to navigate and still having to. And as women, we, I know y'all men are on here, but as women, we go through so much in relationships, like especially when you have a child involved, and then the child start looking like him, and then you get. I I am. I am in my 50s and I still get some ugly text messages from my my son's father. It's like, and I think evil thoughts like, why? Every time he says something, he doesn't talk unless it's something negative or it's just. I was like, gosh, you gotta be going into your mid 50s. Like, how can you still have this same attitude as though we're in our 30s? Like,
Wow. Yeah.
it's daunting, and so I totally get it. You're having to relive this. You're hurt that he's gone, but then you start dealing with all the other stuff that's caused you pain, caused you to cry in the middle of the night because you think 5 years, a 5 year old, and I probably dated earlier beyond that. So just having everybody write this down, and then I know I'm listening to you talk, and you said you had a part of your book that says, how would you respond?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Right? Did y'all
Right.
did y'all remember hearing that part of the book when she
Yeah.
talked about that? That is something new. Like, people don't really respond, but she's telling, how do you respond to my situation? Like, what do you
Right.
do? That's a whole dimension of, like, how I handle it. I just want to see how anybody else handle it. Like,
Right.
Right.
that's really humble.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And you don't get a lot of people being humble in this year. You don't get a lot of that, but I got to. That's drawing up other emotions in me, like, how would I
Right.
handle this? How would I handle that text message? How and,
Yeah.
I don't,
Well, I think, Daniel, in loss, especially someone that close to you, I can vouch. You don't know how to respond. I don't.
Right.
Someone asked me, how do I feel? I said, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. Right? I just got to deal with all of the thoughts in my head and to pick from that. Right? That gave me the emotions, that gave me the movement or whatever within myself. It's hard to even fathom something like that to happen so close to you at that given time. I want to ask you about the relationship with the child and his side of the family. Is it one, and how is it, if it is?
Oh, to this day, we good. His mother loves me. She always did. His sister came around eventually, because one thing I don't do is I will excuse the hurt, but I won't excuse the disrespect. So
Mhm.
I understood she was hurting, and so I didn't take anything she was saying or just too many people get so involved in things. And that was the thing that concerned me. Everybody wanted to be my voice and wanted to fight those battles for me. And I chose not to, and they just got ahead of me every time. So it just bothered me. But she's amazing. We stay in contact with her. She checks up on us. She's supporting my book. She's sharing everybody my book, and she's very proud of me to this day. So that's my
Fantastic.
bud.
Fantastic. Danya, tell us a little bit about how do we know that we got coming up, your man, 2 Chainz and what have you.
Oh, the other one.
And
I know I'm gonna answer that, but I got one more literary question. I'm
come
sorry.
on. No, no, this is, hey man, this is your show. Go ahead.
I got the literary side of me is, you described the situation. You described it: loss, betrayal, and loneliness. You dealt with the loss. You dealt with the loneliness. And is the betrayal tied to the girlfriend, or where's that? That
The
was a trigger word. That's a serious trigger word when you
the
deal with grief.
the betrayal really came from family within my circle.
Okay.
And when I said about, people trying to be my voice, trying to intervene, that's the portrayal, because I'm like, hey, you're supposed to be on my side. So if I'm not saying, don't go to them, don't say nothing, don't do
Uh,
anything,
uh-huh.
that
Mm.
becomes a
Uh,
portrayal, because it's like, okay, I'm not a kid. This is not 16 and pregnant. I'm kind of an adult. So that I felt like, because I speak about my grandmother in there. I have grandmothers, but I'm not going to tell which one, but people that know that knows. I'm speaking about my grandmother. She was not the friendliest person. And
mhm.
in that season in my life, I felt like she should have been more supportive. We're good now, but at that time, it it made the hurt even deeper when
Right.
I did not receive that support from her, and she had to learn the hard way, and it hurt, our relationship. It really hurted our relationship, and it took time for us to kind of communicate where we are today.
Wow, that's deep.
Okay, that was my last question. I just had to because I had that as a note.
Yes,
Um,
Daniel, again, you are quite the co-host of the Xerox Twin. And still,
I,
you can add some more.
I
Yeah,
am actually a takeover artist. I got to work on that, but I'm like, okay, we gotta get this
right.
out. Thank you,
You
dear.
know, we still learning. We still learning. Tell me this: do the child ever ask you about? Do y'all talk about him much? Do you kind of have to go through and tell her about different stories about your relationship, that type of deal, or is it kind of like hush hush? And y'all just kind of whisk through life unknowingly. Well, how is it?
Um, it started, of course, I had to be kid friendly about it because she was at 5. She ended up asking. And so I had to create a story that did not reveal that he took his life. And that probably would have gave her like, but blaming herself. So I removed that reality for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Um until here recently I had to tell her because okay, because I'm transparent. I don't sugarcoat nothing.
Somebody told it. Somebody told it.
No one told. Well, I had to
Um,
tell her because she started having those thoughts herself.
okay.
And so I had to intervene. I'm like, wait a minute, no, because you know what? And so I had to share. We had to have that deep conversation because of the stuff she's going through with herself physically. I had to kind of intervene, but no, we would always have happy conversations. I never spoke negative about him. That was never, I don't think that should have been a conversation for a child in the first place. I always
Mhm.
reminded her, hey, think of all the fun stuff that you guys did. The movie that she did remember going to see with him, the very last movie was Black Panther when it first came out.
Oh,
Mhm.
So we made it, and I made a decision. I'm like, you know what? When Black Panther 2 came out, we made sure that we went to go see it in the honor of him. And I got her a stuffed animal that has the Black Panther body, but I got his face image on the face as a Christmas gift because,
Wow.
and I also took it a step further and took a recording. I'm very creative. I took that and took he was singing ABCs with her when she was 2. So I put that in the stuffy. So when she did feel any sense of I miss my daddy, she can always hear his voice and see his face. So we never, he's not, he's definitely much alive in our hearts, in our minds, in our
Yeah.
conversations. He's definitely in our lips. Even when I see her, she's a splitting image of him. Like, oh, you look like your daddy. But you cute though. And so we try to have those conversations, and
Right.
and now that she's much older, was daddy like this? Girl, your daddy was so funny. So anything that come out of my mouth, it's like, number one, your dad's still a man. But number two, your dad was still a dad. And I think if he was still a little longer, y'all would have been best friends to this day. Because
Mhm.
he was into basketball, very healthy, go work out, all those sort of things, didn't smoke, barely drink. So it's one of those, well, that's not the issue. But I always motivate her and let her know, hey, anything you're doing, just always know that he sees no matter what you do. And I tell her, he'll definitely be so much proud of you. Probably have a shotgun waiting for them boys, but he will be proud of her. So we stay talking about him. Like that's,
Wow.
because at the end of the day, you know, you can have a great friendship even if the relationship didn't work out. And so that's at the end of the day, like that was my good friend.
Right.
So yeah.
Fantastic.
I want you to go ahead and I don't know, and I know you're about to ask me about the bookstore, but I don't know if she's ever visited. I don't know if you ever visited the Doc Bookshop on the east side of Fort Worth. Um, we've been there for 17 years, and we do festivals. Like so, our big one of our biggest festival is the Trinity River Book Festival, and we do it on West 7th Street at. Are you from Fort Worth?
Yes.
Okay, Twin, y'all gonna have to do a better job of making sure Fort Worth folks know about the Doc Bookshop. I don't know how y'all gonna have to figure. Y'all gonna.
Hey, we gonna ask Dunya to come on the show a little bit more often.
I'm sorry, I'm just making fun of them, so I don't have to target the guests. But but no, but if you get a chance, stop by the bookstore. I know we stay pretty busy, especially when we have new authors, and I see you're a new author. But I would invite you during September, which is National Suicide Month,
Okay.
to be a part of Trinity River Book Festival. And I'm doing this because Twins show, but it fills up pretty much. But I just want to honor you as a guest of one of our favorite people that have been supporting the Doc Bookshop for many, many, many years. And when we're in public, they always do what I ask, or they're just always there. It's like God sends them right on time, whether a car is stopping or something's always happening to us. And the twins, like they come in there with the superhero. I don't know what it is. It's like, and my mother.
Dunya, it's funny that you said that. In the morning, I want you to see my caption on my page in the morning. All right. It's funny that you said that. Go ahead.
But I want to also say, like they even, they had that show for the Breathe, the Shut In, and what have you. And it's like now they're reaching out to the elderly people. Like my mother she doesn't come out a lot, but she does come out a lot. But it's something about the twins that she's always connecting to Fort Worth through the twins. She's actually from Omaha, been there for years, but moved down here with me. And so I just want to honor them and bringing us together. That hey, look up the Doc Bookshop. We have a lot going on. We will be happy to include you through the twins to be a part of Trinity River Book Festival in Fort Worth in September to represent a conversation for National Suicide Month. So just think about it. You can check us out. We do have the event, like they said, we do have the event for 2 Chainz coming up. So that's if you for everybody out there, and thank you for giving us a platform to share this information. 2 Chainz will be in Fort Worth on March 7th at 3:00. K104 has been pushing it. Everybody has been pushing it. We also have an event in Dallas for 2 Chainz, and so we're excited. We really fought very hard to get 2 Chainz in Fort Worth. Originally, it was going to be in just Dallas, and we did not want to get beat up by the people that know us over on the east side. And they know that we do a lot of high-profile authors at the store, to see why we're doing it over only in Dallas. So we wanted to honor the community that was on the east side of Fort Worth and throughout Fort Worth, to say, hey, we're bringing 2 Chainz into our community, and he has a lot of fans. So
right. Tell us some of the people that have been there, right? From we had LL Cool J, Deion Sanders, and
Deion Sanders. A couple of weeks ago, we had Teddy Riley there.
Teddy Riley.
Before that, with Jane Kennedy. You might not know Jane Kennedy because I don't know. You may not know. Those old heads know Jane Kennedy.
Yeah, Jane Kennedy.
Jane Kennedy. Pam Greer's been through there. Russell Simmons. Who else? Tyrese.
Ricky Smiley.
Ricky Smiley. Yeah, that was a good one. I like Ricky. I like him a lot. I can't. Al Sharpton. I can't think of all of them. Jeezy was there. Yeah, when was Jeezy? A couple of years ago.
Couple of years. Okay, Jeezy. Right. Yeah.
How many of them been through?
A good place to build relationships. Dunya, believe it or not. We talked to Teddy afterwards,
Okay,
And
yeah, we got some good
yeah,
cooking.
man, listen, he pointed out his colleague and said, "Hey man, go over there, get my number." He said, "I want to help you guys do what y'all do." So
Uh-huh.
again, right, and so it's good connections there as well. Not only that, you have your all of your t-shirts and your colognes and what have you over there, Afrocentric, your history. You got soap, black soap, yeah, all of that over there. At Doc's Bookshop. Yeah. Again, thank you so much for very cultivated as well. Right, for having such a something so massive in our community, where people need to know what it's about, and more or less, hey man, you're not there because you like books yourself. You're there because you want others to like them as well.
Oh yeah.
Again, yeah, thank you for being in that spot, and we know how it must be in order to maintain that facility as well. Thanks again for your diligence in making sure that we have somewhere to go. Talk about now for your meetings and what have you have over there. The book reading memorials, all of that.
Oh,
Again, yeah,
we
such
did
a
weddings in the
platform.
store. We done did everything in that store.
We have even done some swing out classes over there.
Yeah, yeah, there's so much in that store. It's great.
Yeah, right. So again,
I just want to say for the writers, and especially in Fort Worth, that's why I thought it was very important to, because we don't get a chance to come out because me and my business partner, my sister, are always working, and we also do events in Dallas. So we're in Dallas. Like last weekend, we were at South Dallas Cultural Center, and as well as the Bishop Arts Theater. And so people don't know that we're actually operating in two markets. And so with this show and you guys having been boots on the ground, you help us hear voices from like CR May and be able to check out her book and help us curate for the community, because we are trying to really key in on writers in Texas. We have got to build our stories in Texas. If Jasmine Crockett did not teach anybody anything, she taught us that we do matter. The nation needs to recognize that there's a force in Texas. There's a Black American voice in Texas. We did show out. We did do everything that we were supposed to do to get Jasmine across that finish line. And I think we did come together. Unfortunately, I hate to go political. This is just me, but politics does matter, plays a crucial role, and I have been disappointed that we couldn't get her over that mark. And I think we could just do a lot better with guys like you that are in the community to really push those voices. I have even said, like New York, I don't even have to deal with the publishing companies out there. I have enough talent and great writers in Texas that I can key in on. If you guys want to continue to do a 13 colony book tour in 2026, that's okay, because you have a lot of high profile people that are becoming authors. Your entertainers, your athletes, your presidents, your CEO, they reach the height of their career and they do one last thing: they become authors.
right.
If they don't want to, you can talk about Texas all you want, but if you don't come to Texas, you don't invest in Texas, that's okay, because we have writers here that are willing to be vulnerable like Miss May and tell their stories and share their stories and be the voice for this region. And we're beyond the 13 colonies in 2026. If you can do that East Coast thing all you want, but Texas has many, many stories, and we are here for it. So I thank you. And you have to say, my book is not just my book, is going to be wherever books are sold. So eventually, because we're moving beyond that, we don't even call AZO no more. They don't even, so their platform, you use them for what they are, but it becomes bigger than that. They haven't even put their own brick and mortar out of business. So they don't understand the brick and mortar movement because it's very centered, it's very cultural, and it's very intentional. And it's really connecting those dots. So your books, after we do what we need to do to get your book in the store, your book has to be wherever books are sold, because you want to get your story all over the place, because it's a dynamic story. And I think that's your goal. If you got it, you got a beautiful cover. So we're gonna have to figure out how to take it to the next level.
Well, thank you.
Right, right. And again, hey family, again, we're here, the best live ever. Best live. What we love, we laugh, and we learn how to live our best life together. Again, we got Danya from the Doc Bookshop, and of course our cousin there, you know what I'm saying, with her book, Darshawn Up. Listen, thank you guys for blessing our platform. Blessing our platform. You know, twin very meticulous about word usage. And while we're on that, one of the things, and I don't know how much probably in the book, of, if not all through the book, one of the things that you brought out, because was you said that when they said baby's mother, it degraded. And we must understand that it does do that. And so, of course, you are that child's mother. Right. And so when we, again, Twin and I are very, let's say, sticklers for word usage and words. And so with that in mind, we like to enlighten our audience, our people, our family. By word usage. Right. Because, again, when we have to call a child a kid, that's a problem. Right. When a kid was baby goat, right, a baby goat, and it was made fun of. It was the butt of the joke, and so again, we got to get back into the mindset of being serious about life that we may sustain. Right, we can't sustain our life because we're not serious. The lack of love that we have for ourselves, meaning the lack of love that we have for one another. And so again, this is why we're speaking about suicide. This is why we're having to pamper the baby's imagination and their truth until they can get better at understanding and where it is. And so again, this is why we're having this conversation, and we have the likes of you two to bring forth that which you have in order to give. We always say, man, I always say, hey, man, we don't have an excuse. We don't have an excuse in the world. We have every resource that we need. No, if we got each other, we don't have no excuse. Again, thank you so much. And recapping, again, Dunya, tell us how to find you, the bookshop, and let us know why it's important. First of all, tell us why it's important for us to visit where you are, and tell us where you
are. Well, y'all want to? I'll get y'all the short version or the long. I'll get y'all a version. The Doc Bookshop is on the east side of Fort Worth, but we are a full service bookstore. We cover North Texas. So we have people coming from all over the Metroplex because we have made it into a destination. Yes, there's a lot of bookstores along the way, but there's the Doc Bookshop that really curates, that really value culture. And even though it's full service, we have a huge African American collection. And so it is important because the retail space for African American businesses is shrinking. We had one time where we had retail spaces that were not only bookstores but banks, restaurants, and food places and clothing places and all that was controlled under the African American umbrella. But now we have turned ourselves into pop-ups and vendors while everybody else have come in and control the community. So you have opportunity. People are getting spaces. They're Palestinian, they're Iranians, they're Koreans, they're Chinese, they're Vietnamese. They all have a retail spot that was once our space. And they want us to consider just to be vendors and pop-ups. No, I don't mind doing a vendor thing or the pop-up thing, but that should lead them back into the retail space. Exactly. That should be the ultimate goal, is to say, okay, I'm here, but this is where you can come and see me, and not dilute what is going on in the retail industry. I mean, we have to be able to have representation in our community. Otherwise, people will drive around, have to wait till the weekend to shop. No, that's not acceptable. We can't continue to allow that and rejoice in it. Organizations have got to start bringing people into those brick and mortar spaces.
Brick and mortar.
It has to happen. Otherwise,
Right. One thing I can say is this, there's monies in the ghetto.
mhm,
The evidence is that there are others in the ghetto, meaning that
The foreigner.
right. And so
Yeah.
but let's understand what ghetto really mean and what it meant, right? It wasn't how the place looked, it was how the place was ran, right? Where
right.
people would patronize one another. Okay, so with that being in mind, Daniel, tell us a little bit, give us a few authors, a few books that's there, so people can know where to come find those and what have you,
Right.
in the store.
Well, 2 Chainz is coming out with his memoir, so that's a good one. That's up and coming. Um, we have our financial book, The Wealth Choice, is a great book by
Right.
Dennis Kimbrough. If you're dealing with money and finances, history and culture, definitely Malcolm X middle grade book is out under Dr. Ibram Kendi. There's so many books that are out. I can't even name. Angela
Naeem
Davis,
Akbar,
yes. You got Power
right?
Economics by Dr. Claude Anderson. That's a great history
Anderson,
book.
right?
Yeah, one of my favorites to go to right now because of the season that we're in is Black Political Thought. Black people.
Wow.
That's probably a whole nother show that y'all need to just do a political show.
We're
That
gonna
needs
do that. Yeah, we're
y'all
gonna do
that
that.
needs to
But
happen
matter of
like
fact, what we're
tomorrow.
gonna do, we gotta separate, you know what I'm saying, government from politics. For so many people believe that it runs hand in hand. It does, it does, it is infused, but again, it's two parts infused together. And we need to know and understand what's the difference between the two, right? So that we can grow and so that we can start being more mindful,
Get the information.
the information to
Y'all gonna
best
have to
use
create
what
a
we know.
whole nother show for that.
Right.
That's like an important show. And you asked me about books, and I do want to say, I want to honor your guest that's here and say, "Still, I had to mother a memoir of Greece, grace, and growth." I do want to say, we will work to get that book in store, but currently she has her book on Amazon. But we're going to change that trajectory because that's just what we do once we come into the knowing of an author. So Miss May.
Miss May, you know what I'm saying? Again, hey, this is your platform. Thanks again for being our celebrity. Tell us, you know what I'm saying, again, about your book. Give us a recap of your book, how to find you, and all that. And we know that you have a book signing coming up as well, which caught my eye. And the reason that I had to get you on the show, give us a little bit about what that is about.
My book, is that correct? Ah, I done lost my train of thought.
Just a recap.
No, get your pen, put it in your between your fingers, right?
Yeah. No, basically my book is just a small portion of my testimony and also how I made it over. I kind of did it that way simply because I didn't want to do a tell it all book. I really wanted to tell it all and show it all type of book I wanted to share simply because it wasn't about just bashing anyone or throwing anyone under the bus. It was just simply sharing what I went through and how I got through it. And I wanted to have conversations with every individual in a way that I could not do if I was in their since I'm not in their spacing. That way I can kind of share the grace and the growth that I developed through the whole experience. I mean, because it was an experience, it was highs and lows. But if I can get through something like that, we all can. It's just we all go through different griefs. I mean, we can grieve a conversation. I'm not a conversation. We can grieve friendships that we've had for 20 plus years. Grieving a whole retiring from a job that you've been on 70 plus years, that's grief. So we all will experience some sort of grief. It's just what we do with it. And we can, if we can get from grief to growth and just realize, okay, we're just outgrowing the old us
Mm-hmm.
and just become a
Wow.
different person.
All right. Tell us a little bit about the signing and how to find your book.
Find you.
Yeah, so my book, Still I Had to Mother, will be on Amazon. And like she was saying, hopefully we can get up out of Amazon because that was just the starting point. Because since my next book, I'm not going to Amazon, so I'm not on this binder that I don't have to use Amazon anymore. But
Right.
but as far as my book signing, it will be March the 8th, which it is this Sunday. I have the privilege of having it at Revised Credit Union, which is fine. Not credit union. I'm sorry. Revised Financial Services, which is off of Arkansas in 360. It is, like I said, Sunday, March the 8th, but it is from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'll be able to sign some books, and I also will have some on standby. I will be selling those for $10. I do let's see what else. And it is first come, first serve, and I will do my best to make sure I accommodate everyone that do arrive. But I also know that, I respect my elders so much, so the elders come first, regardless if they come late. So
Right.
I just want to make sure that this is an opportunity for people to get to know me on a personal level and not just the name, because I think a lot of people still don't know me. But this is one of those, believe it or not, this is way out of my comfort zone. This whole ordeal, I rather not do this at all.
Right.
But
It's a
something
must.
about this story inspired me to just go ahead and take the leap of faith and get out of my comfort zone, because during the transitioning of becoming the woman that I am, not just being a mother, I am being a woman in a different phase. I believe that this book was the reason to get out of that comfort zone, which
Mm-hmm.
will allow me to pour into my next book, because I'm living the second story as we speak, and I'm super excited already to develop the title to that one. I always come up with the title after. So,
Fantastic.
It was wonderful.
Fantastic. Again, I want to ask you before the both of you before we get out. I think you were saying about Amazon and why it's imperative not to be there and when you have another platform. Can you kind of explain that so that people can understand why we always say we all we got and we all we need? Go ahead. Either one of them.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Did we lose you?
You hit your mute button?
Oh no. I think the A has read its course, and I think we're lining our audio up with how we move. If we're going to say we don't like big business, big corporation taking money from billionaires, that's what it looks like, taking money from billionaires, and that's walking that walk. I always there's this guy who does he telling people how to navigate, how to get rich. I'm a billionaire. I'm this, I'm that. And he said, go get my book. And this is what we need to do to build up the Black community. This is what we need to do to build up the Black community. We had to lean into ourselves. And so, but in the next sentence, he said, go get my book from that company. Well, you just invalidated yourself. Like,
Right.
if you're going to talk this billion, that's why I don't even look at the billionaire stuff no more, because it's misleading. I'm looking for somebody that's wealthy minded, that
Right.
have that. See, because a billionaire, they will sell their souls. but somebody that's wealthy minded and truly want to give back to the community, he would have said, because they do that now, because there's a whole bunch of people do that now. Shop at an independent bookstore, shop at a Black-owned bookstore. Otherwise, what we have just done was pander to our community. And pandering at some point is going to be criminalized in the court of Black culture. Once we get truly organized, we're going to find those people.
I like that.
Find those people that are pandering. And now, don't get me wrong. I think you should leverage yourself in every avenue where you can sell books. That is business minded. That is entrepreneur. But the entrepreneur would say, I'm going to look at the landscape and look at everything and look at every opportunity. Okay, I want my book there. I want my book there. I want my book at the Doc Bookshop, or I want in all these different places, because that means you did the work of business. And so, and then not limit yourself and not limit your opportunities. Because again, that company has put its own self out of business, and their landscape now is everything. So they don't even focus on really books anymore. So it's the independent bookstores that have come together. I just came out of conference in Pittsburgh. It was probably about, I think it was about 2,000 independent bookstores across the country. So yeah, and then we have the National Association of Black Booksellers. So Donna, my business partner, sits on that board, and I sit on the board for the American Booksellers Association. So we got these two entities that are really honing in on books, because it's massive. Everybody's writing a book. It's books. Oh my good Lord, there's books everywhere. And then not only that, it's now you got the new books that are being written, and then it's the historical books. So I can go back list at any moment. I can go back into Powernomics, the Miseducation of a Negro, the David Walker Appeal, and then Negroes to Guys. And we can go all over the place when it comes to books, just the backlist alone.
Right.
So it is. So how do we navigate this sea of books? And so we have our own program to help navigate, which is the Lighthouse. And then we also have, we navigate Reading of the West. That books are produced that are in the Midwest. We are very heavy on books in Texas, Oklahoma, just in that Midwest, to Chicago, to Detroit, what we would consider the Midwest. So it's a lot of moving parts in this industry. So you want to be able to put yourself where it's visible.
That's right.
Yes.
Y'all got it, man. We got a show coming up. You know what I'm saying? With Miss Dunya.
That's gonna be nice, man.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about books. We're gonna talk about will reading become passe, right? Because the advent of your YouTube and what have you, man. Why did they take cursive out of the schools? We got a lot to talk about, a lot to visit. Again, family.
We got to talk AI. You got to talk AI. You got to talk about AI. That was
all that. Yeah.
That's the biggest conversation in the book industry right now.
Yeah. Plagiarism, and all that stuff is we're gonna bring it up. Again, family, we're here. The best life ever. What we love, we laugh, and we learn how to live our best lives together. Of course, I'm Blue Bull.
I'm Red Bull.
We're the Xerox Twins. We bring it to you, man. We bring your resources. We bring your businesses. We bring all of your information. We bring the people with the realness, right?
Bring the best,
man. The experience themselves. Right. Again, we have tonight the lovely. We call them the God is, right? You know what I'm saying? The feminine energy. We love our feminine energy. Man. Again, Miss Dunya. You know what I'm saying? The Doc Bookshop in Dorsham, our loving cousin. Right. And again, don't forget to look her up and get her book. Doc Bookshop right there on Meadowbrook, man. Listen. Again, y'all make sure that y'all go and just check out the ambiance, right? It feel homely, right? Once you walk in,
it's full of home.
But again, family, we are here doing our due diligence. Make sure you like, share, and follow our Xerox Twins social media. That's Xerox. Start with a Z and ends with a Z. Subscribe, send hearts, and what have you. Of course, more importantly, make sure that you share who we are, for we share us. to you as well. Again, bro, we always in social media with what?
We always in the social media with be humble, become more knowledgeable. That way you won't be vulnerable.
And I always say, we all we got.
And we all we need.
Love and become lovable. All right, family. Much love and respect. Hey, dear Sounds, again, thank you so much for hosting. You know what I'm saying? Such a platform that we may do that which we love doing. And that's reaching out to our family, our people, our loved ones. Again, thank you guys for joining us as our celebrity guests.
Wow.
Bye.
You got, yeah, okay. Wonderful, wonderful. That's what you are.
Shit. Still on. Hey, family, don't forget. You know what I'm saying?
The book signing. Don't forget the book signing. That's
Right.
Sunday, 4 to 7. Wasn't it 4 to 7?
3 to 7.
3 to 7.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
Now,
Arkansas in 360 over in Arlington.
In Arlington.
Maybe on the Grand Prairie side, someone up.
No, right there.
By the club.
Yeah, right there by
Okay.
Old Brick House.
Old Brick House. Okay.
What is it? JJ's now, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Y'all check it out, family. Again, hey man, y'all could find 29. Coming up. Oh, bro. You know what I'm saying? I showed. You know what I'm saying? We ready, D.
We out of here, family.